Dr. Tong Lee with Ageless Living. Today we've been talking about lifestyles that can affect your aging, and we have our guest, Dr. Roberto, here. We had a question in the last session about is there any hope when we lose collagen at age of 25?
Correct, and I think it's a legitimate question, and a lot of people think that there really are no options. But there's two parts to this discussion. One we're going to be discussing today in great detail, and then also tune in next week, and we'll be talking more about how if you got older in life and you feel like you need to reverse some of the aging effects, there's some options. But also, if you're, and old is all relative, so if you're 60 and you want to stop from looking 80, then you can actually you can actually slow down the aging process by doing preventive measures now. So whether you're 20, 40, 60, 80, whatever it is, you can actually slow down the aging process by your lifestyle. So this is what Dr.
There are choices you can make in life to change your lifestyle to make living better. Is that right?
That's correct. As a matter of fact, two of the important things that we can do in life to actually slow down, maybe not stop, but definitely slow down the aging process, is diet and exercise. It is two simple things, but they're very important.
What about stress management?
All that has to do is tied in. Stress affects us in many ways. It creates some body reactions, and it puts our body in a stress mode. And because it's in a stress mode, then everything has to be accelerated, including the production of certain chemical compounds and the reproduction of cells, etc. All this will create, inefficient substances and will lead to us becoming or having that aged look.
And diseases too, right?
Yes, indeed. For instance, just getting back to the diet, for instance, just an important thing in diet. If we ingest the adequate amount of proteins, nutrients, vitamins, minerals, all these supplements, and preferably in natural forms, if we ingest the right amount of them, all our systems are going to work good. Our telomeres, which is the bottom portions of the DNA chains, are going to be long enough that when they replicate, they're going to be long enough that they will have enough material that they can pass on. So otherwise, these cells are going to continue losing, if they don't have enough nutrients, especially what we call the methyl, a portion which is the CH3. But anyway, if diet is adequate, just as a simple form, everything is going to function well. Our cells are going to replicate. We're going to build the right amount of collagen, and we're going to maintain healthy organs. Exercise contributes to all of that too.
What is the right amount? That's hard.
Yes.
It's easy to overeat. It's easy to diet and miss nutrition.
Yes. You know what? There's one simple way to know if your diet is adequate. And a lot of our reactions have to have that portion of the chemical compound CH3. That's obtained, as we call it, methyl portion. And that's obtained in proteins, especially that have sulfur-based proteins. And this is in meats and certain plants, etc. But these are gonna contribute to adequate function of all our cells, including in our nervous system. Our nervous system is very sensitive to the changes here. So here's a key thing. If you want to know if you're having an adequate diet or not, if you feel alert, happy, perky, etc., your diet is okay.
Don't we feel that every day?
Yes, all of us on this show, we feel all of those things. We must be eating great.
If you feel that fatigue, that tiredness, the difficulty to concentrate, etc., you may be lacking adequate nutrition. It's not 100%, but that's a very simple way to find out if you're actually.
Okay. We'll let you talk, go back to exercise.
Exercise is good. It helps to improve our cardiovascular function. It helps to release stress. And then, of course, all this leads to better cell nutrition and better cell function. And that's what we want. We want adequate cell function. And if we have adequate cell function, the cells are going to do their job, produce the chemicals necessary to maintain us looking good and healthy. And if that happens, we're going to maintain a more youthful appearance longer.
So what I'm hearing overall is that you need to have overall good nutrition, but in particular with that collagen, is there any combination of foods or types of foods that should be eaten? You had mentioned some proteins, things of that nature, to make sure that and there's 9 different types of collagen I overheard.
Yes.
So is there one particular way
Food
to
source?
eat, food source that somebody should include in their diet that would
Yes.
help increase the collagen?
Very good question. You know, there used to be a time when they used to indicate, well, you should eat a lot of foods that contain collagen. For instance, gelatin, cartilage, chicken breast, the cartilage in chicken breast. You know, they used to say, well, this is going to be good for you. Well, the reality is that when you ingest any form of collagen, it's going to break down in the stomach. So that's not really going to matter.
Okay.
But what does help to maintain that collagen formation is actually the essential fatty acids. You know, the omega fatty acids, especially the EPA and the DHA ones. Those are needed to be able to produce the long chains of telomeres, which will lead to the adequate cell function, which will lead to adequate collagen formation. So anything that has to do with ingestion of the omega-3 fatty acids, adequate amount of proteins, adequate amount of vitamins. We need the vitamins because without that, we need vitamin C in order to continue the reactions necessary to produce the collagen. Otherwise, you're not going to have adequate tissue. So all these things combined is what really going to produce the end result.
Of course, we know the lasers will help too, but we're going to cover that next time.
That's correct.
Absolutely. So on the natural side, what types of foods would you recommend that have the naturally occurring DHA and the right types of omega-3 oils?
We have a limited ability to produce EPA and DHA those are the higher forms of fatty acids from the lower form, which is the ALA. The best form of ingestion probably is from animal source, and in that sense, probably marine life. Fish would probably be our best source for EPA and DHA fatty acids. The ALA can be obtained from plants, such as flax seeds, walnuts, green leaf type vegetables, cilantro. All these contain ALA, and they're good. But if that's the only part of fatty acids that we ingest, we cannot convert too much of that into EPA and DHA. We have limited ability. So we do need to ingest it from outside source. But we do have to be careful because too much of it can also go the wrong way, cause problems. There has been links of high levels of DHA with other problems, such as we mentioned. There's been studies done that they link it to increase in prostate cancers, for instance. So we're not quite sure, what can happen or not. But I think it's safe to say that if you eat fish once a week, you're okay, and you're ingesting the right amount of DHA necessary for all our other body functions and chemical reactions, especially the collagen formation.
And it looks like it's about time to go to break again, but I did want to ask one more question to get clear, is that fish has the right kind of omega-3 oils in it.
Correct.
If you have beef or pork or chicken or turkey, are those missing that right? I mean, obviously they can be good for you if part of a good diet, but do they have the right kind of omega-3 oils in them?
Some of the meats, they do have contents, but not in great amounts, not in the amount that we would find it necessary. Fish has a larger concentration.
And some of the nuts and seeds.
And some of the nuts and seeds. So as far as meats go, you know, mammals, like I said, we have limited abilities to form that, so also other mammals. But fish have a much easier ability to form the EPA, the DHA, starting from the ALA, which other animals don't. And that's why we find the right concentrations in marine life.
You motivated me to try to like fish more. I'm
Right,
not a
but
fish
if you
lover,
were
but I.
vegetarian, then you should go with nuts and seeds.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And do they have the right type, similar to fish, or is it quasi?
They have the ALA, which is the basic form of a fatty amino acid, and from there, when we ingest it, we can build it up into the EPA and DHA. We have limited ability to do it, but it would be sufficient probably for our functions.
Okay, very good. Better than nothing is a
Better than
good
nothing.
option. Oh, it looks like we still have 2 minutes left. Maybe I was taking us to break a little bit soon. So that's great. That's good news for me. But obviously, fish. Now, one of the things we addressed in the last show, and if any of our listeners or YouTube viewers, and by the way, I want to pause and make sure that people know that this show is also hosted on AZ Laser MD on YouTube. Now, you don't actually have to go find the YouTube channel. If you just type in Voice America, Ageless Living, or Arizona Laser and Skin, Dr. Lee, Kurt Wilhelm, or Dr. Robledo. These are all keywords that will pull up the videos related to these topics, and they are keyworded there on YouTube. So make sure you go to YouTube and start viewing those videos for all of our vast numbers of listeners out there. We appreciate all of you that are tuning in. But yes, I'm very excited to know that there are some options besides fish, but also I'm excited to know I better just buckle down. What about tuna? Is tuna a good?
Tuna is good. Tuna is good, but it can have higher levels of mercury, so you're better off with salmon.
Okay, I'll just buckle down to that salmon sandwich every salmon fillet. So maybe also include that in the diet for any of you who are not fish eaters out there.
What about antioxidants? I think we may not have too much time left, but we're going to go over that after our break.
Okay.
And actually, when we come back from break, we're going to be talking more about the topic that was brought up, which is exercise. In our next segment, we have a personal trainer who's coming in who actually trains those who become fit for competitive fitness, whether they're in the fitness categories or the bodybuilding categories. And we're going to be discussing how to utilize exercise and the way you eat to not only be healthy right now, but so that you don't damage your body right now for later on. So sometimes people get so into bulking up that later on they age more quickly. So we're going to be talking about smart ways to get fit, even if you're going to be in a competitive situation. So when we return from break, we're going to be talking about that. Thanks for tuning in to Ageless Living here on World Talk Radio and Voice America, joined by
Dr. Tong Lee
and Dr. Robledo here, who is our guest from Arizona Laser and Skin. We'll be right back after the break.